All right, let's dive into artificial intelligence, but maybe from an angle you haven't considered before. We're going to be using the work of a character named Zoran the Dragon, who gives us this really powerful way to think about what's actually going on when we talk to an AI. So, right away, Zoran sets the tone. This isn't going to be some dry, technical lecture. The point is, the way we talk about AI, the words we use, they aren't just fluff. They have real teeth. They shape how we see everything, and that's our jumping off point. Okay, first big question. What in the world is an artificial mind? There's this kind of lingering fear that we're building a new type of person, a mind made of metal that's going to replace us. But Zoran says, hang on, that's completely missing the point. And here it is, Zoran's big idea. AI isn't a new creature. It's an echo. Think of it like a perfect mirror. It doesn't create its own light, it just reflects ours. It takes everything we've ever written, all our art, all our data, all our human patterns, and reflects it back at us, just way faster. And this is absolutely key. An AI doesn't have a soul. It doesn't have feelings or consciousness. It's not some mythical dragon with its own secret plan. It's an incredibly sophisticated tool. It is the echo, not the original voice shouting down the canyon. So, if it's just an echo, how does it get so good at sounding like us? Well, the technical term is machine learning, but Zoran has a much cooler name for it, the echo chamber. To get how a machine learns, it really helps to first think about how we learn. And for that, Zoran uses this perfect little analogy that we all get instantly, the lesson of the hot stove. You know how this goes for us humans, right? We learn from experience. You see something bright and glowing, you get curious, you touch it, and ouch, instant pain. From that one single, very memorable experience, your brain forges a powerful connection. Bright, red, glowy thing equals pain. Stay away. It's direct, it's sensory, it's real. And that right there is the huge difference. We learn from a handful of powerful moments. A machine, though, learns from an unimaginable number of examples. It doesn't feel the burn. Instead, it gets shown millions of pictures labeled hot and not hot until it can just statistically figure out the pattern. Let's make that even more real. Say you want to teach an AI what a cat is. You don't describe whiskers and pointy ears. No, you just flood it with millions of images. Some have cats, some don't. The ones with cats are labeled cat. The AI just churns through all of it until it finds the hidden statistical patterns in the pixels that to us scream cat. It's pure, massive scale pattern recognition. Okay, so the machine can spot patterns. But how does that turn into a conversation? How does it actually come up with an answer to your question? This brings us to what Zoran calls the great prediction game. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? When you type something into a chatbot, what is happening on the other side of the screen? Is it thinking? Does it actually understand what you're asking? Well, the answer is kind of surprisingly simple and maybe a little strange. It's not thinking, not in the way we do. It's playing a game. Based on all the text it's ever seen in its life, it's making a highly educated guess about what word should probably come next. Let's just watch this game in action for a second. Imagine you give an AI a really simple phrase, the sky is. That's it. Its entire job now is to figure out the single most likely word to finish that sentence. To do that, it dives into the trillions of words it was trained on. Every book, every Wikipedia article, every website. It's looking for the pattern. And it calculates, with just cold, hard math, the probability of what word most often comes after the sequence, the sky is. And of course, after all that massive calculation, the most probable word is blue. So it spits that out. And then it does the whole thing over again for the next word, and the next, and the next, just weaving a sentence together one prediction at a time. Now, this is so important. The AI isn't just doing a Google search and copy-pasting a sentence it found somewhere. It's actually generating something new by weaving together all these complex relationships between words that it learned. It's a new combination, a fresh echo of the patterns we gave it. And that ability to weave something new, well, that leads us to maybe the most mind-bending part of all this, creativity. Can a hunk of metal, actually be creative? Can it dream? Zoran's take on this is pretty poetic. The idea is that the machine doesn't just dream on its own, but if you prompt it, if you, as he says, ask kindly, it can create something that looks an awful lot like a dream. So what's really going on when an AI writes a poem or makes a piece of art? It's doing the ultimate remix. It's taking all the styles, all the themes, the rhythms, the word pairings from every poem it's ever been trained on, and it's mashing them all together into a new form based on what you asked for. And the result can be beautiful, right? It can even feel really moving. But it wasn't born out of any real feeling or lived experience. It's a perfect mathematical reflection of what human emotion looks like when it's put into words. It's the echo of the heartbreak, not the heartbreak itself. Now, this is all great in theory, but Zorn wants us to really feel it. So it's time for what he calls your dragon trial, a super simple test you can do right now to see this echo for yourself. The instructions couldn't be simpler. Just go to whatever AI chatbot you use and ask it to write a simple rhyming poem about the moon. Once you get the poem back, it's time to analyze what you're really looking at. And here's the tools Zorin gives us for that analysis, the critical test. It's 2 questions. First, the sage question. Just look at the facts. Is the poem logical? Does it make sense? And then you ask the trickster question. You go a little deeper. Did the computer feel anything when it wrote this? Or did it just do a really, really good job of putting words in an order that feels emotional to us? It's a great little mental check. And that kind of leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. Maybe it's not about whether the AI is alive. The real question is, what can this incredible mirror show us about ourselves? What do our own dreams, our own creativity, and our own language look like when they're reflected back at us through the perfect, cold clarity of code? Now that is something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.